Welcome back and a very warm welcome to everyone watching on Coin Discovery USA, the place where everyday pocket change can turn into an extraordinary discovery and where a simple coin that most people ignore might actually hold a fascinating story worth a life-changing fortune. And today we are exploring one of the most intriguing coins that collectors love to talk about, the 1984 1 cent. A Lincoln penny that millions of people have handled over the years without realizing that under the right circumstances, this ordinary-looking coin could potentially become one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered because of rare mint errors, unusual production mistakes, and remarkable possibilities that can transform an everyday coin into a legendary collectible worth up to $16 million. And the reason collectors are so fascinated with coins like the 1984 Lincoln cent is because the minting process used to create coins, although highly advanced and carefully controlled, is still a complex mechanical system that involves engraved steel dies, planchets made from metal blanks, high-pressure striking machines, and multiple stages of inspection and quality control. Yet even with all of these systems in place, small imperfections sometimes occur during production, and when those rare mistakes escape the mint and enter circulation, they create unique coins that collectors spend years searching for. Because unlike ordinary coins that exist in the hundreds of millions or even billions, mint-era coins are often produced in extremely small numbers, sometimes only a handful, which makes them rare, mysterious, and highly desirable among collectors who study the smallest details of coins in the hope of discovering something extraordinary. And the 1984 Lincoln penny is a particularly interesting example because this year produced a number of well-known varieties and potential mint errors that continue to attract attention from collectors and researchers who examine coins closely for unusual details that set them apart from the millions of other pennies produced during the same year. And one of the most famous and widely discussed features connected with the 1984 penny is the possibility of double die varieties, which occur when the die used to strike coins receives more than one impression from the master hub during the die creation process, and those impressions are slightly misaligned, creating a design that appears doubled on the coins struck from that die. And collectors carefully examine the lettering on the coin, including the words "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date itself to see whether there are signs of strong doubling that might indicate a double die variety. Because when clear doubling appears on a coin, it can dramatically increase its desirability and value in the collector market. And what makes double die coins particularly fascinating is that the doubling originates from the die rather than from damage after the coin was struck, meaning every coin struck from that die may display the same doubled features, creating a recognized variety that collectors catalog and search for with great excitement. And the 1984 Lincoln cent is also famous for another unusual and fascinating feature often referred to by collectors as the doubled ear variety, where the ear of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side of the coin appears doubled due to a die variety, creating a distinctive look that immediately captures the attention of collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents, and coins displaying this feature can become extremely popular among collectors because they represent a clear and identifiable variety that stands out from ordinary coins. But doubled dies and varieties are only part of the story that makes the 1984 penny so interesting, because there are many other mint errors that could potentially appear on coins from this year, each one offering a unique glimpse into the complex process of coin production. And one of the most dramatic possibilities is the off-center strike error, which occurs when the planchet is not properly aligned within the striking chamber at the moment the coin press strikes the coin, resulting in a design that appears partially shifted toward one side and leaving an unstruck blank area on the opposite side. And off-center coins can range from minor misalignments to dramatic examples where a large portion of the design is missing, and collectors especially value those examples, where the date and key design elements remain visible because they clearly identify the coin while still showing the dramatic effect of the error. And another fascinating error that collectors sometimes discover is the broadstrike error, which occurs when the retaining collar that normally surrounds the planchet during striking fails to engage correctly, allowing the metal to expand outward under the immense pressure of the coin press and producing a coin that is wider and thinner than normal and lacking the raised rim that typically defines the edge of the coin. And broadstrike coins provide a striking visual example of the tremendous force involved in the minting process and the critical role that the collar plays in shaping the final appearance of the coin. And yet another intriguing error that might occur on a 1984 penny is the clipped planchet error, which actually happens before the coin is struck when the metal blank is incorrectly cut from the sheet of metal used to produce planchets, leaving a curved or straight section missing from the edge of the blank. And when this incomplete planchet passes through the coin press, the design is struck onto the irregularly shaped metal, creating a coin with a distinctive missing segment that collectors immediately recognize as a genuine mint error. And clipped planchet coins are particularly interesting because they reveal that mistakes can occur even before the coin enters the striking press, and collectors often examine the edges of coins carefully in order to detect this type of error. And another group of mint errors that can appear on coins like the 1984 Lincoln cent involves die cracks and cuds, which occur when the steel dies used in the minting presses develop fractures after striking large numbers of coins. And when a die begins to crack, the metal flows into the crack during striking, creating a raised line on the coin that mirrors the shape of the fracture in the die. And if the crack becomes severe enough, a piece of the die can break away entirely, creating what collectors call a cud, a raised irregular area along the rim of the coin where extra metal has filled the missing portion of the die. And these features are fascinating to collectors because they provide evidence of the intense stress experienced by the dies during the coin production process, and they often grow larger as the die continues to deteriorate, producing a sequence of coins that document the gradual evolution of the die's damage over time. And collectors who specialize in die varieties sometimes study these coins in detail in order to understand how the dies change throughout the minting process. And beyond these errors, there is also the rare possibility of a wrong-planchet strike, which occurs when a coin is accidentally struck on a metal blank intended for a different denomination or even for a foreign coin. And although such mistakes are extremely rare due to strict controls within the minting facility, they occasionally occur, and when they do, they produce coins that are immediately recognizable because their size, weight, or color differs from that of a normal penny while still displaying the Lincoln design. And coins like these often become legendary among collectors because of their rarity and the unusual circumstances that created them. And another factor that can dramatically influence the value of a 1984 penny is the overall condition of the coin, because coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition with bright mint luster, sharp design details, and minimal contact marks are far more desirable than coins that have spent decades in circulation and show significant wear. And professional grading services examine coins carefully to determine their condition and assign grades that help collectors understand the quality and rarity of each coin. And when a rare mint error or variety appears on a coin that also receives a very high grade, the result can be an extremely valuable collectible that attracts intense competition among buyers at auction, sometimes driving the price far beyond what most people would ever expect for a simple penny. And this is why stories about pennies worth millions capture the imagination of collectors and everyday people alike, because they remind us that hidden treasures can sometimes appear in the most ordinary places. And the 1984 Lincoln cent serves as a perfect example of how the combination of mint errors, unusual varieties, rarity, and exceptional preservation can transform a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent into an object of fascination and excitement within the world of numismatics. And for many collectors, the thrill of coin collecting lies in the possibility that a rare and valuable coin might still be hiding in plain sight, perhaps in a jar of old coins, a roll of pennies from the bank, a forgotten collection inherited from a family member, or even the handful of change received after making a purchase at a store. And countless remarkable discoveries have been made by people who simply took the time to examine their coins more closely, proving that patience, curiosity, and attention to detail can sometimes lead to incredible surprises. And the story of the 1984 1 cent reminds us that every coin has a history and that even the most common coins can sometimes carry rare characteristics that make them stand out from the rest. And for anyone who enjoys the excitement of treasure hunting and the fascinating history of coins, the message is simple but powerful. Always take a closer look at your pocket change, because the next incredible discovery might already be waiting quietly among the coins you handle every day. And somewhere out there, a rare 1984 Lincoln penny with unusual errors, remarkable features, and extraordinary collector appeal could still be circulating unnoticed, waiting for the moment when someone finally recognizes its hidden significance. and realizes that what once seemed like an ordinary coin might actually represent one of the most exciting discoveries in the entire world of coin collecting. Next, the 2018 Lincoln cent are produced in enormous quantities and are still actively circulating in everyday commerce, meaning that the possibility always exists that a rare era coin could still be hiding in a jar of loose change, a forgotten piggy bank, a roll of pennies from the bank, or even the coin sitting quietly in someone's pocket right now. And while millions upon millions of 2018 pennies were struck by the United States Mint and released into circulation as part of everyday transactions, only a tiny fraction of those coins may contain the unusual minting errors and striking abnormalities that collectors search for so carefully, because the minting process used to create coins is an incredibly precise but also extremely complex mechanical operation involving engraved steel dies, copper-plated zinc planchets, high-pressure coining presses, automated feeding systems, and multiple layers of inspection and quality control. Yet despite all of these safeguards, occasional mistakes can still occur when machinery experiences slight misalignments, dies begin to wear out, or planchets enter the striking chamber in unusual positions, and when these rare events happen, the result can be a coin that looks dramatically different from the millions of ordinary coins produced during the same year. And collectors often become fascinated by these unusual pieces because they provide a glimpse into the hidden world of coin production and reveal how even the most carefully controlled industrial processes can sometimes produce unexpected variations, and one of the most well-known types of mint errors that collectors search for on a 2018 Lincoln penny is the double die error, which occurs during the die creation process when the die used to strike coins receives more than one impression from the master hub and those impressions are slightly misaligned, creating a design that appears doubled on the coins struck by that die, and collectors often examine the words "In God We Trust," the word "Liberty," and the date itself with magnification in order to detect signs of doubling, because strong and clearly visible doubling can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a recognized variety that collectors actively pursue. And what makes doubled die coins particularly fascinating is that the doubling originates from the die itself rather than from damage after the coin was struck, meaning that every coin struck from that die may show the same distinctive doubling pattern. And when collectors identify a new doubled die variety, it often becomes cataloged and studied within the numismatic community, increasing the excitement surrounding coins from that year. And another dramatic error that might appear on a 2018 penny is the off-center strike, which occurs when the metal blank known as a planchet is not properly aligned inside the collar at the moment the coin press strikes the coin, causing the design to be impressed partially off the edge and leaving an unstruck blank area on the opposite side. And off-center coins can vary greatly in appearance, ranging from small misalignments to dramatic examples where a large portion of the design is missing, and collectors especially value coins where the date and important design features remain visible because these details confirm the identity of the coin while still displaying the striking visual effect of the error. And another fascinating category of mint errors that can appear on coins like the 2018 Lincoln cent involves die cracks and cuds, which occur when the steel dies used in the minting presses begin to develop fractures after striking enormous numbers of coins, and when a die develops a crack, the metal flows into that crack during the striking process, creating a raised line on the coin that follows the shape of the fracture. And if the crack becomes severe enough, a piece of the die can break away entirely, creating what collectors call a cud, a raised irregular area along the rim of the coin where extra metal fills the missing portion of the die. And these features are especially interesting to collectors because they reveal the intense physical stress that dies experience during the minting process, and they sometimes grow larger as the die continues to deteriorate, producing a sequence of coins that document the progression of the die damage over time. And beyond these die-related errors, there is also the possibility of a clipped planchet error, which actually occurs before the coin is struck when the metal blank is incorrectly cut from the sheet of metal used to produce planchets, leaving a curved or straight portion missing from the edge of the blank, and when this incomplete planchet passes through the coin press, the design is struck onto the irregularly shaped metal, creating a coin with a distinctive missing section that collectors immediately recognize as a genuine mint error. And clipped planchet coins are particularly interesting because they demonstrate that mistakes can occur during the earliest stages of coin production long before the coin ever reaches the striking press, and collectors who search rolls of pennies often examine the edges of coins carefully in hopes of discovering this type of unusual error. And another visually dramatic mint error that might appear on a 2018 penny is the broadstrike error, which occurs when the retaining collar that normally surrounds the planchet during the striking process fails to engage correctly, allowing the metal to expand outward under the tremendous pressure of the coin press, producing a coin that is wider and thinner than normal and lacking the raised rim that usually forms around the edge. And broadstrike coins provide a striking visual demonstration of the immense force involved in the minting process and the important role that the collar plays in shaping the coin's final appearance. And another rare but exciting possibility for a 2018 Lincoln cent is the wrong-planchet error, which occurs when a coin is accidentally struck on a metal blank intended for another denomination or even for a foreign coin, and although such mistakes are extremely rare, because of strict controls within minting facilities they occasionally occur, and when they do the resulting coin immediately stands out because its size, color, or weight differs from that of a normal penny while still displaying the Lincoln design, making it a fascinating and highly sought-after collectible among numismatists. And yet another factor that can dramatically influence the value of a 2018 penny is its condition, because coins that remain in pristine uncirculated condition with bright mint luster, sharp design details, and minimal contact marks are far more desirable than coins that have spent years circulating through everyday commerce and show heavy wear. And professional coin grading services evaluate coins carefully and assign grades that help collectors understand their level of preservation. And when a rare mint error appears on a coin that also receives an exceptionally high grade, the result can be a coin that attracts intense interest among collectors and investors alike, sometimes leading to astonishing auction prices that seem almost unbelievable for a coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. And this is why stories about pennies worth millions capture the imagination of people everywhere, because they remind us that hidden treasures can sometimes be found in the most unexpected places. And the 2018 Lincoln cent is a perfect example of how modern coins can still hold extraordinary potential when rare circumstances occur during the minting process. And for many collectors, the excitement of coin collecting lies in the possibility that a rare and valuable coin might still be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone who takes the time to examine their pocket change carefully. And throughout the history of coin collecting, there have been countless stories of individuals who discovered valuable coins simply by paying attention to the small details that others overlooked, proving that curiosity and patience can sometimes lead to remarkable discoveries. And the story of the 2018 1 cent reminds us that even the most ordinary coins can sometimes carry unusual characteristics that make them stand out from the billions of others produced during the same year. And for anyone who enjoys the thrill of treasure hunting and the fascinating history behind coins, the message is simple but powerful. Always check your pocket change carefully, because you never know when a simple penny might reveal a rare mint error, a remarkable piece of minting history, and perhaps even a life-changing discovery worth millions quietly waiting to be recognized among the coins you see every day.